have 10 minutes. I would like to maybe take a 5-minute break if possible, but is there any other items of concern to come before the council today before we move on to our committee of the whole meeting? Councilor Motley.
So I'm still stuck on this sales tax travesty. Now that our city attorney is here, I wanted to address him on this and also update you, Councilor Skalko, on what you missed. The ITMEC has a 1% sales tax that makes the monthly payments on the building. Now, the excess money was supposed to be put aside, and once the bond's paid off, that money is to be used to be put in improvements on the building. Well, there is no money, it's gone, it's been spent. So I want to know how, if we are now in trouble, breaking whatever agreement we had, this was before I was on the council, I don't know how this thing is set up, but I want to know if this city is in trouble.
Mr. Lindsay?
Counselor, I'm going to have to look into this because what I have to do is go back and look at the specific documentation that created that 1%, because that's where the relevant restrictions, and I apologize, I don't have it off the top of my head, but I will look into it and report back.
I would appreciate that. I look forward to hearing that. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Motley. Okay, anything else to come before the special council meeting? Okay, thank you everybody for being here. We will adjourn the special committee of the whole meeting. It is 8:52 a.m. We stand adjourned, and let's take 5 minutes, of course, and at 9 a.m. we'll begin the committee of the whole meeting. Thank you.
Into the forum. I thought it was going to. That's what we have to look at and see if we can put it directly.
If it goes in there.
It doesn't have to come out monthly.
When do you make it?
We make the bond payments a couple times a year.
Just twice a year.
Yeah. I think it's just twice, maybe 4 times a year. They're all a little different, but it's likely twice a year. No, it goes in monthly. It goes into the forum. Would go in monthly. So in the event that I can't directly have them deposit it into an investment account,
That's what they made this one.
then it would have to be a monthly deposit.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, good. You're welcome. But I just did now. If you don't want, let's do it. Okay.
Thank you. How's it going down there?
I gotta get. Well, I have a quick contact. So I'll be closing my door in one.
Yeah. I wondered, do you want to see if we can move this closer? Because like your stuff's like at the end of the meeting.
Whatever time it. And I can stay in here.
Well, that I'm wondering if we could move it up and then you don't have to wait.
I won't wait
It
in
would be
here. I'll
nice.
go down.
Oh, go down. Oh, okay.
Come back up. Oh, okay. Just so.
Why
so
is it
I can-
saying that I don't want to lose connection? Stop.
Yeah, I know. I gotta move my.
I went home and napped for 4 hours. It felt a lot better.
Okay, we'll get started here. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Virginia City Council chambers. This is a regularly scheduled committee of the whole meeting. We'll call this meeting to order. Today's date is Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. The time is 9 a.m. Britt?
Thank you. First item on the agenda is Mr. Matt Reed from SEH with a request to approve a resolution establishing a municipal estate 8th Street.
Good morning, Matt, our engineer record from SCH.
Good morning.
Morning.
So this is a follow-up to the exchange with the county last fall. As you recall, October 1st, Oregon Road is officially now a county road. Hoover Road is now officially a city street. Hoover Road is quite a bit shorter than Oregon Road, and both were, well, Hoover was listed as a county state aid highway. Borgen was listed as a municipal state aid highway. That's one of our streets that we had on our system. As we flip-flopped, Hoover Road is still on our state aid system. Borgen Road is no longer. So we have some extra mileage that we can, without getting into the details of how the state aid system works, we can draw some more money to help pay for improvements to our state aid system. When you're designating state aid routes, they have to have certain criteria that they meet. You can't just pick some random residential street in the middle of the city somewhere. It has to connect to county roads or state highways, or connect to another road that connects to a county road or a state highway. It's gotta be a, I guess I would call it a thoroughfare through town. And if you look at our state aid system right now, you'll kind of see that's how that's set up. So as I did some research, we had, I forget, I think it was about 0.7 miles, if I remember right. I probably got it on here. Yeah, 0.71 miles that we had available to us. And as I started looking at different parts of town, knowing some of the areas that we needed, I was able to find a corridor up in Midway that is right about 0.71 miles, and that stretches along Cuyuna Drive, Vermilion Trail, or Vermilion Drive, I mean, and then out Anderson Road out and hits Borgen Road, which is again now a CASA. So we're basically connecting 53 to CASA, whatever number it is, Borgen Road. So I move forward with at least getting preliminary approval from state aid, and they approved it. So I'm bringing it forward to the council. Of course, I'm wide open to hearing if people have other ideas, other thoughts. I'm wide open to it. It just will have to meet that criteria and that mileage that we have available. If we can get the resolution passed, we can get it included in what's called your needs this fiscal year, which means we can draw funds for it this year. We won't have to wait till next year. So I'm bringing it forward to you. I've gone through the process to get the preliminary approval. What we need to do next is get the resolution passed, back to state aid, and ultimately it will get funneled into their system and should get approved without any question, knowing that we got the preliminary approval. So it's a good thing. It gets us some more state aid money. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, or if you guys, again, if you have other ideas or other routes you'd like me to look at, I can certainly do that.
Thank you, Matt. Before we go to the rest of the council, that Midway Drive that stretches from the old Hotel Cuyuna Drive straight down the road all the way past, right, to Anderson Drive, there's a dead end there, right? When we would get to the Borgen Road, with the new change in the highway system, there's a dead end there. And so there's a reroute all the way around, but it does go to the Borgen Road and then up into Anderson Drive. So I think that's prudent to do though. So, and just for the public's edification, the reason that we did this for a variety of reasons, but one of the main reasons is that we have Borgen Road, which was a city street, and it's now going to be a county road. And so this is the opportunity. It's such a deteriorated street, and the cost associated with redoing that street was absolutely, really not, it was cost prohibitive. And now with the county having on board and having some discussion with the county, it could be completely redone with the county sales tax, transportation sales tax, and relieve the burden of any assessments to the homeowners up there and provide a repaired street, not just an overlay. So that's one of the reasons. There are others as well. So I'll go to Councilor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. Matt, I think this is an excellent idea. It makes complete sense, and thank you so much for taking the initiative. Awesome. And with that, I would go ahead and approve the resolution.
Support.
Councilor Paulson moves to approve the resolution, a request to approve to establish the Michelville State Aid Street, supported by Councilor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Anything else on the agenda that you have today? Okay. Thanks again. Appreciate it. Okay. Number two, Mr. Link is not coming today. And number three, we are not moving forward. We're not ready for number three as of yet. Moving forward, and so we'll move to item 4. Brett?
Item number 4 is Fire Chief Scott Frederickson with 2 requests, or a request and a discussion regarding the ISO rating.
So the request is to approve a resolution to apply for and accept funds from the State Office of Emergency Management Services. Assistant Chief Frederickson.
Mayor, council, everyone, good morning. With this emergency funding, this was from the last legislative session. What came out of it was that ambulance deficit program, I believe it was called. And for all ambulances services, it's just that, working in the deficit. The state's chipping in money. So we were awarded, I don't have that total in front of me, 152,000, somewhere in there.
Yes.
And part of the acceptance of those funds is to designate a purchase for that, which we've deemed our largest safety item would be our power cot systems in our ambulances. They have expired. Those who do the maintenance have said they're inoperable. These are back injuries for our people and also comfort for our patients. Those units are just over $30,000 a piece. That's for the cot, that's for the receiving end in the ambulances. So we won't be able to get all 6 with these funds, but it'll go a long way towards it.
Thank you. Council?
I'll move the approval.
Councilor Paulson moves to approve the resolution to apply for and accept funds from the State Office of Emergency Management Services. Is there support?
Support.
By Councilor Bachschnider. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, is a little quick there.
What do we have now?
Plug that in.
Okay.
What do we have? Oh, okay, there, thank you very much. Item 4B. Can you, for the general public and for the education of the rest of the council and staff, what is ISO?
ISO is Insurance Services Office, and I'll
Thank you
go
very
over
much.
that definition here shortly.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Bear with me. All right, there we go. Great job.
Thank you, Brett.
Yes, thank you, Brett. That's, it wasn't part of the presentation, but that's firefighters and technology right there. So council, thanks for your time today. We have a couple presentations planned for you. Don't worry, only one today. And I wanted to dive into ISO, and more so for myself. In my career, I've always heard it referenced. I've heard, we got to protect our ISO. I wanted to quantify that. Like, what is that? Something more tangible. So that was my goal with all this. And as far as the other presentation, that'll be on an agenda to come. That's one of our driver operators, Tom Werdeman, asked do end-of-year local and department reports. So I've got a sneak peek and did an amazing job. That'll be coming soon. So the agenda for this short presentation, just a little bit of background. I will define what ISO is, and I'll also share my findings, and then relate that all into a quick little introduction to our budget and how it works. So for that background, like I just said, I wanted to quantify ISO. to date in my 22 years here, it's been words. They've been flattering. It's been good. We got to protect it. Again, I'm a numbers guy. I wanted to attempt to grasp, make it more tangible. And I wanted to propose a different viewpoint of that. We do talk about our ambulance PSA, for example. 640 square miles covered and paid for by the 19.2 in our city. And that's a big deal, right? I'm not at all trying to minimize that. That is a huge deal. We'll keep working on it. But the lens I'm proposing is, what does Virginia get because we're here? And that's just trying to flip some of those things. Because we are in a home insurance crisis. Years ago, it would be our nation's coasts and hurricanes. But as we know, we've had 2 summers in a row of, I think I've heard 100-year rains 2 years in a row. I mean, it's worsening. I hope to avoid all national politics with that, but it's bad. Fires used to be randomly in the boundary waters. We had 3 at once to the south of us. The issue's growing, and why it's deemed a crisis is in 2023, half of the agencies that provide home and business insurance left the business. In 2024, half of that remaining half, so we're down to a quarter of the agencies left that provide home and business insurance. And Economy 101, supply and demand, as we know, the less available options for insurance, higher the rates, and we're seeing that as a nation. It also, hearing stories, another drive for this project was hearing stories of residents, not in our city, and there's stories in our city as well, but those in neighboring ISO districts that have a worse score than us just being dropped. Getting a letter saying, due to your ISO, we're not covering you. I would have expected, double the rates, triple the rates, but they're saying no. So that speaks to some of that crisis. So ISO, defined, it's an independent evaluation of a fire department's capabilities, and that's half the score. 10% of it is communications, and 40% is water supply. And this part's important. It's a 1 to 10 scoring system. It's referred to as the PPC, which is the Public Protection Classification. The lower the score, the lower the risk of damage by fire, the lower the premiums on home or business. So low is what you want. In 2019, the Virginia Fire Department received an ISO score of 3. It was a record low for us. We have maintained it since. We are due for an evaluation soon. It does come around every 4 or 5 years. 2019. So that's why I'm here today too, is that when this happens, we do have some needs, and I'll discuss some of those. So again, yeah, I've been told that is the best score, single station. Operating, beautiful station. Thanks again, by the way. The smiles and crew morale. Wow, it's amazing. So how that's justified, and I'll read through these quick, but it is staffing levels and training records, training hours, fire officer development, driver operator training hours, annual hazmat refreshers, and other trainings. Equipment testing and maintenance records, fire truck pump testing, hose tests, ladder truck, aerial device, annual inspection, and a key word, and I'll touch on it later, is availability. That is, the key word in this is apparatus availability. And then it goes on as CBA maintenance, inspection records, apparatus inventory compliance, pre-fire planning, community risk reduction programs, a lot of what our fire marshal does. Run call reports, including mutual and automatic aid call logs, incident reporting, performing scene size up, personal protective equipment, hazard zone setting up, rehab, incident action plans, etc. So a lot goes into that calculation. It is quite a process. But again, here we are, words, right? So I wanted to dive in. What does an ISO of 3 mean for our city? Wanted a non-biased approach. Let's face it, I see our crews every day. They go above and beyond, and you got to remember in public safety, we have personal lives and families as well, and traumas and dramas and tragedies and horrific family diagnoses. And our escape from that is to go to work and see everybody else's. That makes me biased, probably so. So non-biased approach, what are we talking about? We're talking about ISO, we're talking about insurance. I went to the agents in our city who provide insurance. I want to take a moment to thank them. A lot of them gave me a lot of time. I had chicken scratches of notes from all of them. Tried to formulate it all, put it all together, make broad views and averages, and present today. Key takeaways is this is difficult to make. This is way more difficult to make tangible, to quantify it than I anticipated. There's so many variables, right? We have new additions, we have old vacant houses, we have all spectrums of sizes and occupancies, the age of home, what they're used for, other usage, prior disasters, etc. It's overwhelming. So it's literally trying to find every one of these conversations. I was just verbally just pushing them in what would you think? But I did record all their answers. I came up with a broad range of 20 to 45% we save on home insurance. So, okay, we're getting closer. I like that. So in hopes of not overspeaking today and easier math, I'm just going to use 25%. Again, 20 to 45 is where they all landed in. So now I need what's the average monthly premium for home insurance in our city. And again, all the same variables as before. Again, when, not everyone falls into the 100 to 200 monthly home insurance. Some are way above, some are below, but again, these numbers are from the agents in our town to just try to nail down something as a starting point. So for today's math, I'll use $150 per month per home. Math and PowerPoint, what a bad combo. I'm sorry, I'm almost done with that portion. That early, yeah. Coffee break, huh? So if the average residential monthly premium is $150 after the 25% discount, the non-discounted rate would be $200 a month, which equals $50 per month per home discount, or $600 per year. That was eye-opening to me. I forget all the levy numbers, one levy equals, but that's gigantic. I remember texting Brett, how many homes are in our city? And she knew that so fast. That was pretty impressive. Times that by the savings, I came up with $2.9 million in home insurance savings for our city. Again, averages. This isn't, unfortunately, the crisis is here and it's worsening. So people are going to be, as it worsens, that number's going up, and we're not rooting for that, right? We want premiums to come down eventually, and then this number to come down. So it's one of those weird things to get behind. But again, trying to make this tangible. Common things I heard, and what I did just for a broader view, I did contact insurance agents in Duluth. I only deal with Duluth and surrounding areas. I talked to one in the metro, ran into a guy when I was in the cities in a Trader Joe line. He was wearing a Milwaukee shirt with an agency name on it, and we just started chatting, and it was so cool. Like one of those things when you buy a red car, you only see red cars. These are some of the quotes that are from agents in our town and not. And if you want to improve your business recruitment, lower your ISO. When a business wants to build in a certain region, they call the city with the lowest ISO first. And I did go to one of our larger businesses. And I don't have numbers to present on our business insurance. Wow, is that way more difficult to find an average with the different sizes and businesses. But I'm going to keep working on that. Excuse me. I went to one of our larger businesses and educate me. I'm trying to learn our impact. And that gentleman, a regional guy I got to meet with, shook my hand and says, "We're here because you're here." I was taken aback by that, and that's very flattering. He's like, "We recognize on a map where we can put a business, we call the lowest ISO first. That's why we're here." So something I wanted to share. That was really caught me aback, something I hadn't considered. All the agents said ISO business savings exceed that of residential. Communities with low ISO provide the citizens with all the home insurance options, meaning back to that supply and demand. We're not here. I mean, when we're here, where ISO is, all those remaining 25% of the companies are here as well, which it is a crisis. I can't say it's driving down the market, but it's going to be the best option or provide the best options. I'll tie this into our budget, and I promise I'll be done soon. I don't have year-end 2025 data yet, but 2024 I went off of. Our fire budget, approximately $2.3 million. Our EMS budget was 3.8, total of $6.1 million. But it only cost the general fund 2.9. No, I'm not going to put my superiors on the spot. I'll just tell you the answer. Why did that happen? It's because of our ambulance license. That's some of that lens I want to change. You know, it's yes, everything that's been said at this podium, $500,000 loss a year anticipated. That is not false. We need to work on that and improve that. But it's on pace to bring in over $3.5 million in 2025. We usually run a quarter behind, so we don't have that information yet. But 3, 4, something. So 6.1 combined budget. Remember that number of that savings on residential alone, that 2.8 is exactly where we hit the general fund. And again, that number, 2.8, 3.0 against the general fund, that is our fire budget plus ambulance shortfall. That total equals that home insurance saving in our city. In addition, like I told you, all agents from all over stated that we save that much in business insurance as well. The last quote I shared was from one of our agents in town that when I was asking about our fire-based EMS delivery system, he said, you are using those conservative numbers, like I said, it's 20 to 45%, I use 25. He said, using those conservative estimates, our ISO of full-time fire saves twice as much as it costs. And now we're getting somewhere, right? That's tangible, that's quantifiable. And that does not include the economic impact of business recruitment and retention, he said that. You saw how I worked with this computer. I don't know if we'll be figuring that number out anytime soon. Fire-based EMS systems, this is why this delivery model is so popular right now. It is sweeping our state. The Metro and the rest of the state have created over 75 positions of fire-based EMS delivery each year for the last 3 years. Excuse me. Communities are recognizing that to recruit businesses and boost their economies, they want to separate themselves from their neighbors. They need to be the places that businesses call first. Last quote I'll share that I wrote down was also recognizing that lowering their ISO has greater financial benefits for taxpayers, businesses, and the economy than alternate public safety delivery systems. And my last slide. So preserving this, obviously a high priority of mine. Our next eval is coming soon. 2019 was our last one. They advertise that they do this every 4 to 5 years. We're on year 7, so it's coming. So I do need help with that. And first one is staffing, and I know it's on the agenda coming up here soon. We are currently 5 firefighters short, with a 6th coming. Another member is going to be leaving for his hometown. And why that's important, this isn't 2026 luxury positions. The last time we had a study to show where our staffing should be, 2011. We've added nearly 2,000 calls per year onto that now. I'm not asking for another study. We are having troubles filling the spots we have. But these 5 vacancies we have now, and that's 6 coming, are critical. What we're asking our staff to do is unsafe. And obviously wages as well. I pulled a report from July, and I know that's negotiations and again, seeking nothing today. Pulled a report from July, all full-time fire departments. We were third or fourth from the bottom. And again, I understand tax base. I understand cost of living. I'm not asking you to outpay, Bloomington and Rochester. I am asking not to be last either. So that's just putting that on your radar. Staff and fire marshal training. When we do bring training to you, please know, and we'll be here to explain it all. But it is to improve our ISO. It is for these reclassifications. It's and solely that. Apparatus. You guys committed to a price last year, and it's expensive, and I understand that. But that is the vital piece of our ISO score. That is the center of every tactic we do. And how that is scored is its availability. And these next 3 years without that new one are going to be very difficult. Over the weekend when I was working on some of this, we had three department messages go out that it's leaking. It keeps leaking from different spots. And what do we know about metal trucks and water and below freezing temperatures? They don't work when you get there. So we'll get through these next 3 years somehow, but that truck is paramount for our ISO rating. Wildland fire response, this is something, again, not asking anything today, but we had those 3 fires last year. We were paged. I know it was a county response, not city. I understand that, but the entire county was responding. We couldn't go. Our 1998 setup for wildland trucks did not start. It was not a battery. We tried jumping it. Our mechanics, they're awesome. They got it going within a couple hours. But it was too late. We reassigned for an evacuation of a hospital in Northern Pines. That will, if I am scored on ISO soon, that will greatly impact that scoring. We were asked to go to a large event, and we're unable. So we definitely got to look at that. And our Deputy Chief Jonason, through his contacts, he did find a truck. Again, not asking for anything today. We'll throw it on an agenda down the road. Brand new 2024. It is 580,000 sticker. Because it was a demo, they said, how about 300-some thousand, 360? We'll even give you a 10-year, no interest loan, 30-some thousand. Well, I want us to look at that. Just again, it is cost, and I understand that's not budgeted this year, and but we're risking a lot by not doing it, and that was my purpose for today. Lastly, radios and communication was at 10% of this ISO scoring. And obviously Chief Madsen's working on that quote and grants, and I understand all that, but that's a huge part of it as well. That's all I got. I'll open it up to any questions. Again, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Chief. Councilor Paulson?
Thank you. I just also wanted to say thank you, and thank you to the department for everything that you do to keep that ISO number low. I have friends that actually had to move out of California. One was a real estate agent, and the fire insurance of where they were located was almost double, in some instances, people's mortgages because of that ISO. So I understand how important that is, and I just want to say thank you, because that's a really amazingly low number. And that, I mean, the indirect impact that you stated that, maybe the community doesn't see of those savings, that is an indirect impact, and there is an indirect economic impact as well. So thank you for that presentation.
Oh, no problem.
Appreciate that.
Thanks.
Thank you, Councilor Paulson. Well, we do recognize ISO is important. It is a factor in business and residential insurance premiums. We also have to balance that with the cost associated with the equipment moving forward. The high cost of capital equipment is a very challenging thing for all communities, including Virginia. So as you make these presentations down the road for capital equipment, tying it to the ISO rating is one thing, but tying it to the levy and the budget is another. So we have to consider that moving forward, and we'll give that serious consideration as you come up with your proposals in the future. So thank you for that. Any other questions for Chief? Thank you for the presentation. Thank you, Assistant Chief Jolson, for being here today. All right, thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Rick?
The next item on the agenda is the Personnel Committee.
Approve the T2 system
Thank you.
software.
The T2 system software parking ticketing system for the police department. I don't see anybody from the police department here, but
We don't have the chief here. Is this an upgrade of the software of the current system we have?
I can give you a little update, Mayor.
Yes, please, Pam.
Yes, this is currently an upgrade of the new parking monitor system. And it's based on how many tickets are actually, issued. So that's why there is no cost involved or anything, so, because I did request that.
So am I not hearing this right, or am I hearing this right, that we're approving the T2 system software, but there's no cost?
Well, there's a cost, but it's based on your tickets that are issued. So it's not like I can say it's $50,000. It's just based on the usage and issuance of tickets. And I believe that was the same as the one we currently had, correct?
Yeah, so it seems like it's the same company. I was looking at the T2 systems. It looks like there's an annual subscription fee, and then every month we pay based on the number of tickets. And it looks to me like it ranges usually between $100 and $150 a month.
So the question I have, there's a cost-benefit analysis here. How many tickets do we issue every year? How much revenue do we get every year? And what is our overall expenses in that regard? So the cost-benefit analysis would be something I'd be interested in. I think the rest of the council would as well.
Mayor?
Yes,
if you give me
please,
just a second, I can pull it up in the
Thank you.
financial
Thank you,
reports.
Megan.
In theory, in just a second. We'll see how fast this actually moves. Sorry, guys.
Well, if you can get that for us, so it's,
Yeah, I'll get it to you.
I
Sorry
appreciate
about that. I
that.
thought it was going to be a lot faster.
Okay, so thank you. We'll go to Councilor Beyondich and then over to Councilor Bachsteiner. Councilor Beyondich.
Thank you. And when you do that, Megan, would it include the cost of the employee that would be doing this? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Councilor Bachsteiner.
I had the same question as well, Mayor and Councillor Beyondich. Those were the two that I had. And I had a third one, and I'm struggling to remember it. So I might need just another minute.
Yeah, I think there was a number that was previously provided to us, but I don't recall what that is. So if you could provide that information for the council and staff, Megan, we appreciate that very much. But so what are we paying now per month for this software?
It looks like we paid an annual fee of about $3,500, and then monthly, it's somewhere, depending on tickets, around $100 to $150.
Was a $3,500 base and then additional per month depending upon the citation. So is it the more citations we issue, the higher the cost?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And so we're paying, so is there an increase to this software package for $3,500 a year, or has it remained the same? We don't know that. We should know that. And so this is going from the committee of the whole meeting to the council meeting. So if it does move out of the committee of the whole, we'll have to have that information before we put a final vote together on this software package. Councilor Beyondich.
And I would say if we don't have that information today, if you can't pull it up by the end of the meeting, that we move this to the next committee of the whole.
Okay, so we would not move this to the council, we'd move it to the next committee of the whole by request of Councilor Beyondich. Pam?
I could ask the chief to give you a little synopsis of what we have currently and then what the upgrade is for, and have that in the next agenda for the council meeting.
With the complete financials, Megan?
Correct.
So you're comfortable with that going to the council meeting if we decide to move this forward? Okay, thank you. Councilor Bachschneider.
Thank you. I remember what I was going to ask. So we recently started using a new purchase request form that has like a one-page analysis on purchase. And now it feels like we've only used that in the case of capital item purchases. But I think in cases of a contract, we should also be using that or something similar, right? We're asking all the same questions right now that we would be on that form. Is this budgeted? Like all of those things should be addressed. So I think going forward, when requests like this come in, even for a contract service, that we should be asking department heads to use that form as well. Thank you. I think it would just save us all a lot of discussion that we have with the assistance of that form.
And I concur in addition, and I don't know specifically if there's a place for that, but you should also show what the current contract is and what, if there's any increase in the future contract and how that affects our budget. So thank you for that, Councilor Bachschnider.
Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. And I'll just add that, and if city staff, when looking at it, doesn't think that current form is the right fit and we should create a sub-form for contract services, I would be in support of that as well. I would look to staff to make that recommendation if the purchase form is the right fit, or if we need a separate form with, very similar things, but much more specific to contracts.
Yeah, so we can track and account. Thank you. Okay, any other discussion about this? And if not, we'll be looking for a motion or not to move this to the council meeting for further consideration. Okay, there's Councilor Bachschnider.
Thank you. I know we have staff going on vacation in this next week, so do we realistically think that we can get this information for the council meeting on Tuesday? Okay, so I think if knowing we can get it for the council meeting on Tuesday, I would be comfortable. I don't want to move to approve, but I would move the discussion to the council meeting on next week.
Okay, Councilor Bachschnider moves to move from the committee of the whole meeting to the city council meeting next Tuesday for further discussion regarding the T2 system software parking ticket system for the police department. Is there support? Support. By Councilor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Britt?
The next item on the agenda is the Personnel Committee meeting from February 13th, 2026. Councilor Paulson, do you want me to continue? Oh, thank you. The item that's coming forward from that meeting is the review and approve the updated MOU for the firefighter EMT position.
And this is just a language upgrade based upon the current memorandum of understanding. Councilor Beyondich. Councilor Beyondich moves to approve. Is there support?
Support for further discussion.
By Councilor Paulson, supports for further discussion. Further discussion, Councilor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. And I just want to say thank you to our HR coordinator, Joy, for kind of redoing this so that it, I don't know if she's here, there you are, so that it kind of meets a little bit in the middle. And so part of that, the language change was due to the fact that some programs are semester-based, some programs, they just run a little differently. So in order to make it fair for people to apply and then to go through the process of the timeline, that we put into parameters some language that makes sense and then also gives a little bit of an exception if there are things beyond that trainee's control, basically. So it's just upgrading that language, and I feel like the Personnel Committee felt very comfortable with this. And thank you so much, Joy, did I miss anything on that? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And I think what it does as well is make sure that there's a timeline when the application for firefighter paramedic comes, which is a requirement that they be that way, that they will be able to graduate that program within a certain period of time, be eligible to apply for this position, because there is very difficult hiring those people. So it's a great compromise on the part of the Personnel Committee and the Fire Department as well. So thank you for all your hard work on that. So it has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
Next item on the agenda is a resolution to approve the hire of Jedediah Holwa, is that correct? As a dual role firefighter paramedic.
So move.
I'll move to approve by Counselor Bachschnider and supported by Counselor Motley.
For discussion.
Further discussion, Counselor Motley.
So I just want to say in regards to Jed, I've known him over 10 years, and I think he's going to be pending next Tuesday night, and a huge asset for the city of Virginia. I appreciate hard workers, and this guy is going to give you everything. So big pickup and pending next Tuesday. Congratulations, Jed. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. It's been moved and supported to approve the resolution to hire Jedediah Holowa as a dual-role firefighter paramedic. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is a resolution to approve the hire of Jason Milroy and Ethan Heidela as dual role firefighter EMTs under the new MOU that we just approved.
So move.
I'll move to approve by Counselor Bachschnider. Is there support by Counselor Beyondich? Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 9 is the Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting held on February 10th, 2026. Number A is to direct city staff to proceed with the development of an easement with the Rough Grow Society in the city of Virginia to access timber on the adjacent parcel.
So move.
I'll move to approve by Counselor Bachschnider. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
Item B from that same meeting was direct city staff to negotiate the sale of the property at market value for parcel ID 0900010-15340 and to include a development agreement with that parcel.
So move.
I'll move to approve by Counselor Bachschnider. Is there support? By Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? So for the public's edification, where is this parcel at? Jenny? Or,
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
This parcel is located adjacent to, in the vicinity of 506 4th Street. Oh, excuse me, I'm on the wrong sheet. It's over by the school. I don't have the exact address. It is a vacant parcel that a property owner in the neighborhood is looking to acquire.
at
I
market
will continue
value.
to look for the address for you, but I don't have it on hand.
Okay, thank you. Further discussion, Counselor Paulson?
Thank you, Mayor. And I think it's in our packet on page 75. Is it 506 4th Street South?
Yes, thank you. I did find that. I thought it was in reference to something else, but yes, the adjacent, or the property owner nearby is at 503 South Fifth Ave.
Okay. And then the question I have is, what size lot is this? Is this a 25-foot lot?
Nope, I did look that up during the meeting, during the Buildings and Grounds meeting, and I believe it's 37 and a half. It's over 25 feet.
So it can allow for a garage structure to be built, which is what the intent is from the person who wants to purchase.
Correct.
Parcel.
And there's certain parameters that they'll need to meet in terms of setbacks and lot coverage and things of that nature.
Okay, but it does it is okay for a garage to be built there.
It is a buildable lot as long as it meets all the other
Perfect.
parameters. So it
Thank you.
depends on what's being proposed exactly. So
Very good, thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Paulson. It has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Next item, please, Britt.
Thank you. The next item, item number 10, is approve the cannabis microbusiness retail endorsement registration for retail operations for Patrick and Kelly Finnegan, doing business as Finnegan Farms LLC at 603 North 9th Street.
Okay, thank you. We did have a meeting the other day. We were in attendance and talked to the Finnegans and the actual building owner of that property. And she also owns the two adjacent former residential properties there. About the business, We did ask a significant amount of questions and look for some clarification. Jenny Boubinet, our planning coordinator, was there. And so I asked a lot of questions, and I think Counselor Paulson was there as well. There were some questions to be asked and answered for this meeting, and then if necessary, what decisions we're going to make, whether we move this forward to the council meeting or not. And one of those questions is there are, Mr. Heisel is in the audience today. He is owner of the Northgate Plaza. There were some questions about whether or not this micro business, which is going to be located right at the old North Star Drug Building, right next to some residential properties across from the Northgate Plaza, if the autism center that's currently operating as a lease with Northgate Plaza, it meets the issues with respect to school or the 1,000-foot barrier that's been established by our zoning ordinance. And then also if the Bridge to Independence 18 to 22-year-olds is an actual school or not. So I'm looking for some information, some clarification on that. But before we do so, before we go to our city attorney to